What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the video. Now, I know this looks a little different than anything else I've done, and it did take me a while to set up, so if you enjoyed this, be sure to hit like and let me know. But basically, I'm really excited for the new update coming to BBS, where we're gonna get the chance to give two abilities to older characters, to any character. I'm really excited for this, because it's basically gonna make some of the older characters usable. And I do the rewind, so I really like using older characters, and this could potentially be just really fun, because I like the older characters a lot. Now, I went ahead and made this because I do think that while we are going to have a list, potentially, of, I don't think it's going to be a lottery, I do think it's going to be a list of abilities we're going to get to choose from. I don't think the list is going to comprise of all of the abilities in this game, because there's a ton, some of which you likely didn't know about, because they're very character exclusive. So I went ahead and compiled this list, and we're going to go ahead and put them in the likely or unlikely category. So yeah, let's begin. We're starting off with fire resistance, and I kind of bundled in fire resistance, paralysis immunity, weaken immunity, all the immunity and resistances into this, just because I didn't want this list to be a lot bigger. It would be a lot bigger if I went individually and added fire, paralysis, confusion, and everything else. For the resistances, I do think they are going to be on this list. I can't imagine anyone picking this over like hidden enemies or anything like that, but I could see some potential use for this. If you have a character that's really good at autoing and they're immune to paralysis, and you're like, I wish they were immune to being frozen as well, because that would be really, really handy for this autoing character, you might want to equip an immunity to that character. I can see why you might want to use it. I do think they are going to be on that list. Next, we have Immolator. Immolator is an ability exclusive as of right now to the 1000-year Blood War version of Yama, the tech one. This ability basically ignites enemies on fire. Every 5 seconds there's a chance enemies catch fire, and it pairs really well with his damage increase to burnt enemies ability. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be on there. I think if it is a list that is kind of available to all the characters, I don't think it's going to be on there, because it'd be kind of, one, it wouldn't make sense to give an ice-type character this ability, and two, it would just be busted. So I don't think it's likely we're going to see that. I think that's just going to be a character exclusive. Plus, it's too busted. Next, we have the Reed Soul Reaper dodges. I'm kind of pairing all the Reed dodges into this as well, similar to the fire resistance thing. I don't think this will be on there. This is kind of a grind ability you use to grind Hogyokus, just because it's, that event that has Hogyokus. I don't think that's going to be on there, because the grinding Hogyokus characters are kind of sought after by certain people who really, really need the Hogyokus, and I think they're going to be exclusive. I think eventually we might see this once that ability is more common and more characters have it, and a lot of people have characters with this ability. I think there's a chance they're gonna just kind of put this into the list. I think we're gonna see a lot of these abilities not appear on the list and eventually show up on the list. But either way, I don't think starting out they're gonna kind of discredit some of the newer characters they've come out with by adding this ability to the list of abilities that anyone can learn. Next, we have post-transformation disabler. I can't imagine this will be on there either. If you have to, there's only a handful of characters that transform, and I can't imagine they'll give Disabler to those characters. And some of them I don't even think have an ability after they or have status ailments after they transform. Plus, it just wouldn't make sense to give them to every character that can't transform. Next, we have the status ailment, all status ailment immunity. This one I did kind of separate out from the fire resistance one, because this one encompasses every status ailment. This ability is broken. I can't imagine they'll give it to anybody, or they'll add it to the list. Basically, the ability to make yourself immune from any status ailment. Only Mayuri and Gremmy, to my knowledge, have this. Maybe some other character does that I just forgot about. But those characters are too rare. That ability is too rare. There's no way we're going to see that on that list. Same thing with Marauder. Marauder is a very rare ability. It's basically nullify melee resistance and guard break in one. It's a very busted ability, and it's very, very good. I don't think we're going to see it on there. Characters with this ability are very sought after. Right now, there's only 2. Yeah, there's no way we're going to see that on there. As for nullify melee and nullify range resistance that I kind of paired into one little bar here, I think there's a slight chance we'll see this. I still think it's unlikely. Maybe in the future, similar to Reed dodges, it'll be added. I think starting out, we're not going to see this, because it is a very good ability that, while useful in Senkaimon, it's even more useful in Guild Quest, when you can use a character in an area where you're not supposed to use a melee character or ranged character. I think it's a very broken ability, and I think eventually we might see that once the ability itself is more it's more common. But right now, I don't think we're going to see that. Same with Pierce Barrier. It's a very exclusive thing to basically PvP. I guess they can put it on. You know what? Scratch that. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to put Pierce Barrier on there. Because if you're going to build a PvP team, you're going to want that. And if you're gonna sacrifice any of the other ones that I'm gonna put on here for Pierce Barrier, you know, more power to you. Go for it. I don't think a lot of people are gonna choose it, but I think it's likely that we might see that particular one. But we'll see. Like I said, it will not come up in anywhere other than PvP and Senkaimon. So we'll see. Next we have the recover ability to recover 20% of your health every time you enter a new area. I do think we're going to see this ability. I think it's very likely we'll see this ability. It's a very useful ability to have. It great for autoing. Pretty good in co-op, but you know, you have healers in co-op. It's mostly just great for autoing. Yeah, I think it's very likely we see this ability. We're even seeing it as a secondary, just like not even a link, just an ability on a lot of characters that are coming out now. So I think it's very likely that we see this. Whoops, move the thing up. There we go. Next we have Sharpshooter, similar to Marauder. I'm also going to put that on there. I don't think there's a chance we're going to see that at all. So we're going to put it down there. Sprinter, I think it's going to be on there, but I think characters are going to be limited to how many sprinters you can add. It's going to be interesting, though, because while certain characters can definitely benefit from it, like you can give it to Bankai Kenpachi, who might eventually get Sprinter once he gets resurrected. Right now, he currently doesn't have it. I do think they're going to have a limit similar to what I was saying earlier, or maybe I said it in a different recording. They are going to put a limiter on how many of a certain ability you can have. For example, if your character has 100% immunity to fire, even if they have fire resistance on there, it can't go above 100. They're going to limit it. I do think it's going to be a similar case with Sprinter, that you probably can't give it to a Soifon or Yoruichi who already can flash step 4 times. So I think that's unlikely, but I do think it is going to be on there, because I do think there's, you know, people are going to want to equip it to certain characters, maybe some characters that have long stride already that will pair really, really well. And even those who don't have it, it will make it really useful for finishing quests faster or dodging bosses, specials. It's just a good ability. I think it's going to be on there. Long stride, I hope is on there. There are a lot of characters with more than an additional flash step that can flash step either 3 or 4 times. We have a lot of characters with +2 Sprinter. I do think Long Stride would be really useful. It's not as broken anymore as it was back when Guild Quest used to be different, and you know, it was a lot. I guess it was a lot more speed oriented. You had to finish it a lot faster in the previous Guild Quest. That's not the case anymore. I do think there's a chance we're gonna see Long Stride, and I'm really looking forward to it, because that would be really fun. Next, we have the Medic ability. I don't think we're going to have the Medic ability, because Medic is very exclusive to characters that are healers. Basically, if you don't know what Medic does, it lets a healer heal the team. It's kind of a dumb ability, because a lot of older healers already heal the entire party without the Medic ability. Like, there's no point for that ability to exist, and it doesn't make sense for anyone who isn't a healer. So I don't think we're going to see that. Next up, we have Long Reach. I do actually think we're going to see Long Reach. A lot of characters can definitely benefit from Long Reach, who don't currently have it, but I do think Long Reach is going to be one of those abilities that is limited to like 20%. Like, you can have Long Reach, but if you have Long Reach at 20%, it won't go any higher. I think they'll do that in order to prevent people from getting their normal attacks to hit ridiculous ranges, and I think that's fine. I think that's fine, because I definitely would want to put Long Reach on like Valentine's Day Nell, who has a decent normal attack stat and, you know, decent multipliers. Her range just sucks. I think I would probably put it on her. That said, she already has, now that I remember, she already has a Long Reach, so well, we'll see. I do think it's going to be on there, but I do think it's going to be limited to how much percent-wise you can get to. Now we have, it's time for the spirits, okay. Confounding Spirit, Paralyzing Spirit, and Shackling Spirit. If you don't know what these are, I do not blame you, because these 3 characters, only like 5 characters have, these 3 abilities, only like 5 characters have them. So, they're not good abilities either. Confounding Spirit basically only, if I remember correctly, it's only the kid, pink-haired OG Yachiru who has it. It basically makes it her special inflicts confusion. Even if it's on that list, I can't imagine anyone would want their special to inflict confusion. On top of that, you know, if your character already has a status element for their special, there's no way that's going to stack. So that's not going to be on there. Paralyzing Spirit is a similar thing, except it inflicts paralysis, as, you know, the name suggests. And then finally, if I can get this to stick, there we go. Finally, Shackling Spirit inflicts slow, which Would be interesting, definitely to see, especially on PvP. But I can't imagine they'll put that in there either. Prevent Brave Battle Healing. I think there's a chance we might see this. I actually think there's a chance we might see a lot of these PvP exclusive stuff. Just because if you want to build, you know, if you want to go the PvP route and just be a PvP player, build certain characters just for PvP, I think they're going to give you the option to do that, though not with all the abilities, you know, that are PvP exclusive. I think Prevent Brave Battle Healing will be a good one to, you know, to kind of include that you can attach to a character. Weakened Defense, we know for a fact is in there because it's one of the two that we know that Ichigo got in the screenshot that we have for this upcoming update. Hidden Enemy is also one of those, so we're gonna put those two on there. I put those two together for that reason, so I can, you know, we know for a fact we have these, so we're gonna go ahead and add them. I'm actually, honestly, if we didn't already have it confirmed that Hidden Enemies was going to be one of them, I would have probably put it in unlikely because of how great it is. It's so good that I would actually think it wouldn't be on there, but we know for a fact that it is, so I get to go ahead and add it to likely. Start with Barrier. I do think we're going to see that. Again, this is a kind of a big PvP thing, or it was. It no longer is. It's kind of easy to get past this, but I think it's going to be on there because, one, it's easy to get past in PvP. It's no longer really broken. I guess it never really was if you were in the higher tiers of PvP, but it's really good for just starting off autoing. If you're immune from the first 10 seconds or for the first, I guess, 20 seconds or first 10 hits, it's pretty good. It could come in handy when autoing if you're using a strong attack recharge character just to kind of spam strong attack. So I think that'll be on there. I don't think they'll exclude that. Next we have Weaken Attack, similar to Weaken Defense. I think that's going to be on there just because it wouldn't make sense to just put one and not the other, especially when Weaken Defense is the better one. I can't imagine you'd put the better one on there and not the other one. Poise, I really hope is on there because you can't really add it to a PvP character to make them busted because any busted PvP character already has it. And it would just be a great addition to PvE, I think, for autoing and just, yeah, for autoing. It would just be really good. I really hope they added this. I would definitely add it to some characters who would definitely benefit from it. Oetsu certainly would. A lot of other characters with really high attacks would also benefit from it. What's his name? Parasol Aizen would definitely benefit from it. So yeah, I think there's a chance we'll see this as well. Strong attack recharge time. I do think it's going to be on there, except I think it's going to be limited because I think they did mention that certain abilities, if their soul trait, inheritance, their soul traits and inherited links, not inherited links, innate skills. There you go. If their soul trait, innate skill, or anything of the sort, or current abilities go over a certain amount, they're going to limit it. I think it's going to be one of those limited things that you can't have more than like 14% recharge on yourself. So it'll probably be on there, but you can't attach it to a character that has a strong attack recharge ability already, if that makes sense. So it's going to be added to characters who have a strong attack damage link and maybe got resurrected and didn't get a strong attack recharge link. I think that will be on there. Brave Battle counter, definitely not. This is absolutely broken. If you added this to a, if they added this to the list, all three characters in everyone's PvP team is going to have this, and it's just going to be chaos. There's no way that'll be added. Brave Battle temporary invincibility, similar to the last one. If you added this to all three of the characters, it's basically going to nullify the first 10 seconds of any Brave Battle, because it's like, okay, for the first 10 seconds, nobody gets hurt. I guess this is just what we're doing now. So yeah, no, it's too broken. People spend too many orbs on characters that have this ability. There's no way they're adding this. Bruiser, I do think it's going to be on there, but I think it's going to be similar to Strong Attack Recharge, though not as limiting. In fact, there may not be a limit to Bruiser, because Bruiser can go as high as you want, honestly. If you're gonna waste something on Bruiser, it's probably only going to be 20% if it's on there, to be honest. I do think it's going to be on there. Diminisher, if you don't know what that is, Diminisher is only available to one character right now, and it basically is like the reverse enhancer. If you're Strong Attack 2, which I think only 2 characters or 3 characters have the ability to do this, but only one of them has the ability on their strong attacks. I don't remember his name. But yeah, it's basically the reverse enhancer. If you decrease your enemy's stats, it basically doubles the amount of time their stats are decreased. It's not going to be on there. There's only 3 characters that diminish stats, and one of them already has it, and the other 2, I have it on their special. It's not going to be on there. Enhancer, I also don't think it's going to be on there because it's very boost specific, and most of the boost characters already have enhancer. Very few don't. The only two that come to mind off the top of my head are Noitora, Camp for Your Own World, and Xylopodo, the speed one. And like it's like 2 or 3 others in the game. It's not going to be on there. Flurry. Okay, here we go. Flurry, I really hope it's on there, and I'm gonna be optimistic here, and I'm gonna put it under likely. I know there's a chance it's not. I'm gonna be optimistic, and I'm gonna put it under likely. I really hope it is, because if you really think about it, a lot of characters already have 60% bruisers and flurry, or like 40% bruiser, a boost move, and flurry. Adding flurry to the list and, you know, giving it to characters who don't have it isn't going to change much. The biggest thing it's going to change, or the biggest characters it will affect, will be Camp for Your Own World Nell, Parasol Aizen, and the past version of Retsu, who already have really high bruisers, and you know, giving them flurry would basically make them on the level of all the other characters, you know, that we currently have right now that get flurry. I think the biggest, let's see, I know that Masaki has like a plus 60 bruiser, a plus 20 Nadlink, and flurry, essentially giving her a plus 80 bruiser and flurry. So putting flurry on this list wouldn't really change that much on the current, you know, with making the older characters viable. Now, there is a chance that those characters will get resurrected and will be better than the current characters we have now, because, you know, they can, their stats will be higher, but the characters that have plus 80 bruiser won't be resurrected for a long time. So this is a viable option. Just, you know, have flurry at 1. Next we have healer. Healer is a, so we're going to put it over here. Healer, technically anyone can have healer. I don't think you necessarily need to be a healer to have healer. I think healer just increases the amount of it's basically Hojikusai or Hojikusi or whatever you want, however it's pronounced, but on a character. It increases the amount of health they get back when healing. I don't know if it's increase the amount of health they get back or the amount of health they can give everyone. I think it's just them, but I don't remember. I tested it out, I just don't remember my results. Either way, it's very heal specific. I don't think it's going to be on there. Next we have the increased status element against heart attributes. Again, I bundle all of them in there. Increased status element against, you know, heart soul reapers, or tech soul reapers, or tech Arankars. All of them are included in this. I don't think it's going to be on there just because it does say status element, but it's very, you'd have to select which status element, oh, not which status element, which attribute and which killer, or it just wouldn't make sense to put that on there. It's too many choices, unless they default it to you know, the element or the color you're good against, and then the thing you have a killer towards. But I don't think we're going to see that on there. Increased speed, droplet drop. I do actually think we might see this, just because there would only be really 5 the different attributes, and it'll be, you know, it'll make grinding easier. If anything, they might do increase the droplet drop, and then just take out speed, tech, power, heart, and mind altogether. But I think there's a chance we'll see this, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. Damage to burning enemies, similar to everything else. Damage to, you know, paralysis enemies, damage to frozen enemies. I don't think we're going to see that on there either. I guess there's the chance similar to the increased speed droplets, but this is more specific to characters that can burn or can freeze or can paralyze. I don't think it's going to be on there. Debilitator, I also don't think that's going to be on there. Just because it wouldn't make sense for characters that don't have status elements, and certain characters who do have status elements, such as Christmas Hollybell and the past version of Kisuke, who have a status element on one of their strong attacks but have the Sabler. It would kind of make for an interesting, well, it would make for an interesting time with those characters. I don't think that'll be on there, though. I don't think Debilitator's going to be on there, because they have to have a status element. Decreased, okay, these two, okay, I'm sorry. I kind of cut myself out there. Decreased Soul Reaper damage taken, and where is it? Damage reduction, here we go, damage taken. I'm going to kind of bundle these together. Okay, so these two abilities are kind of similar. I know I have damage reduction separately on here. There's a reason for that. There are some characters that have decreased damage taken from specific enemies. Like, for example, Hollow 4th Anniversary Ichigo has a decreased damage taken against captains. So if captains hurt him, they don't hurt him that much. And I believe the Mind version of Ichigo, the Fierce Battle version of Ichigo, Wow, all of them have more mind. Anyway, the Fierce Battle version of Ichigo has decreased Soul Reaper damage taken, and then the adult version of Ichigo has straight up damage reduction as an ability. I think we're going to see damage reduction as an ability. I don't necessarily we're going to see it from individual, I guess, enemies, like Soul Reapers or anything else. What is this? Oh. Must have... That's weird. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna see it from individual characters like Soul Reapers. I do think we're gonna see damage reduction. I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be limited because you can already stack it up to 76%. I can't imagine they'll let you stack it up above that. So I think it's gonna be limited to a certain amount per character. Devastation, I also think will be on there though. We'll see how that goes, because if you have a character with Bombardment and you give him Devastation, it could do a lot more depending on what their level special is. I think it's going to be on there. I do think it will be limited. Inheritance Zones, Droplet for pots and stuff. They kind of get a lot of mileage from the characters. They get a lot of summons from the characters that have Inheritance Zones abilities. A lot of people summon for them. A lot of people spend money to try to get these characters. It makes sense. They're very sought after. I am gonna put this on there just because the potions that we're going to be needing for them. We're gonna need a lot more potions from now on, and I think they're gonna want more characters to have these kinds of abilities. I do think it's gonna be limited to what attribute. For example, if you give it to a speed character, I don't like it's gonna have to be increase the amount of power potions it drops. I do think there's a chance we'll see it on there though for that reason. They've kind of everyone's already summoned for a lot of these characters. A lot of us already have Kisuke. A lot of us have that Riruka, that Rukia. A lot of us don't have Kenpachi, and I think in an effort to kind of they got the orbs they're gonna get from those. Is what I'm saying. I think we're gonna see this ability. Next we have Coin Drop. Now, this is an ability that we don't really see often. Only like a handful, only like 2 characters, I think, have this ability. It's very, very rare. We don't really need it. I personally have never needed the grind for coins. There's a chance this might change with this new update coming out. Who knows how much upgrading these characters is going to cost. We know it's going to be a lot because everything costs coins in this game. There's a chance we might see this. There's a chance we might see the Coin Drop ability, and you can add it to anyone who has the Crystal Drop ability. That we're about to talk about. Crystal Drop, as well as the Coin Drop. I do think that's also going to be on there, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of people selecting this. Oh, I see what the white thing is. Hold on. Boop. Whatever. Okay, now we have damage inflicted at low stamina and damage inflicted at full stamina. I do also think these 2 are going to be on there. However, I think it's very likely that these will also be limited. This one's also marked. Yay, for professionalism. All right. I do think they're going to be on there. I do think they're going to be limited. I think at a certain point, if you have a character with a full Senkaimon Aizen build, this ability, and also that link for themselves, I think that's going to be a bit much. I think both of those are going to be on there, though, but I think there will be limited. Dodge rate is an ability we don't normally see. I would love it if this were to be on there. I would absolutely love it if this was on there. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there, just because... The maximum amount of dodge rate you can get for a character is, let me see, 15, 15, 30, 20, 11, 11, 22. It's 52 right now, currently. If you add another, let's say 11 to that, that's 63%. It's still not ridiculous. You can still get hit, and if you decide to go full damage, full dodge rate on PvP, it would definitely make for an interesting time. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to think nobody's going to choose it, but I think it would be a lot of fun if somebody did. And I'm contemplating it. I do think we're going to see that on there, though. Last Ditch Survival Rate, I do think it's going to be on there. I hope there's no limit to that. I guess there's a chance it'll be a limit, that you can only have it at 100%. You can't go higher than that. I hope there isn't. I hope there isn't, because I do think Last Ditch Survival would be great if somebody had it at 200%. I would love to see that, because it would be fun. It would be useful, I should say, for autoing and epic raids and stuff like that. Speed Soul Reaper normal attack damage up. Speed Soul Reaper strong attack damage up. Similar to some of the other abilities you've seen before. This is also a kind of encompassing everything that it goes with it. With Tech Arankar's nat up and Tech, Arankar's strong attack damage up. I do think we're gonna see this. But I think again it's going to be limited. You can only attach, you probably can't stack it to a character that already has normal attack damage up on all team members that are speed Soul Reapers. That's what I think is going to end up happening. But again, it's kind of specific. They have to have a huge list, so maybe not, because they wouldn't want to do that list. I don't know. I want to believe it's going to be on there, but that list would be huge if it was. So I don't know. Maybe they'll figure something out. Adrenaline, I don't think will be on there. Adrenaline is really good. If you don't know what that ability does, it increases the normal attack damage speed by a set amount of percent. I don't think that will be on there just because last time they gave a character too much adrenaline, they had to update the game and fix it. I think there's a chance they might see some, problems with this being added to the game. I don't think that we're going to be, ending up seeing that. Ailment reversal, definitely not. That's exclusive to Uryu right now. It basically reverses ailments and heals the character. It's a very good ability. I don't think it's going to be on there. Berserker, I do think will be on there. I don't think this will be limited. I don't think this, much like Bruiser, will be limited at all. I think Berserker will be on there. Black Hole is an ability that increases the amount of damage that Vortexes do by 40%. I don't think that will be on there specifically because Byakuya. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see it on there. Black Hole would be amazing if it was on there, because you could give it to the 5th anniversary version of Byakuya and just wreck house with it. But I don't think it will be on there specifically because of him, honestly. Giving it to anybody else who has a Vortex move wouldn't be that bad. A lot of characters that have Vortex moves are normal attack damage characters, so this really, it wouldn't affect them much. But that Byakuya would definitely benefit from it, so I don't think they will. Bombardment, I do think will be on there, but again, I think it'll be limited. If a character has Bombardment, they can't get it again. I think that... you could potentially, with this, get a character with plus 80 Devastation and Bombardment. So, I am still going to say it's on there, because specials don't seem to do as much as they used to, especially on Guild Quest. I'll throw it in there, but I'll say you probably can only limit it to one. Blast Zone increases the range on your special. I don't think that will be on there, because I feel like that, combined with Bombardment and Devastation, especially in a character that has Devastation at 60, would be... for lack of a better word, devastating. Disabler, definitely not. Disabler is a powerful ability that only 2 characters have right now, just that ability. The past version of Kisuke and the Christmas version of Hollybell have Disabler. Basically, it increases the amount of the chance that your status element will apply by 10%. If they gave this as just to anybody who wants it, you'd break the game. Right now, the only character that kind of has it at a more, I guess you can kind of use it more often, is the post-time skip Rukia. The adult version of Rukia, Captain Rukia, has this ability anytime for 20 seconds? No, for 10 seconds after she transforms. So I don't think we're going to see that. It's very broken. Follow-up is also very broken. It's very new. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon, because like I said, very broken. I would love to see it though. Would make autoing a lot easier, but no, I don't think we're gonna see it. Frenzy, yes, please. Similar to Flurry and Bruiser's combination, I do think we're gonna see Frenzy. Characters don't have that high Berserkers. So a character like Dangai Ichigo, who has a plus 50 Berserker, could really benefit from this. Even Yuha, who only has a plus 50 Berserker, can benefit from it. Characters like the 5th anniversary version of Ichigo and the Rukia, who have like plus 60 Berserkers, can't get Frenzy because they already have it. So I think this would put some of the older characters on par with those new characters, aside from the stats and all the other strong attacks, range and stuff. But I do think Frenzy will be on there. I really hope Frenzy is on there. It would save a lot of older characters if Frenzy was on there. Havoc being at 20 is kind of the go-to for a lot of newer characters. I do think it's going to be on there. I do think it's going to be limited, that you can't probably go above 20. That said, there are some characters who have Havoc at more than 20. The swimsuit version of Nell has Havoc at 30, if I remember correctly. So you probably can't equip this on her, even though it would really benefit her since her strong attack 3 isn't full screen even with Havoc at 30. Still, I really hope it's on there. I do think it will be on there. I do think it'll be limited at 20, so you can't add it to anyone who already has Havoc, but you can add it to older characters who don't, and it would make them usable. It would make them good. I really hope they add this ability. I can't see them not adding this ability, considering it's already kind of added to what are they called? The pets. The pets can give you Havoc, but only during epic raids. It's only at 3%, but I do think that they're gonna cap it at 20. And then finally, there's Guard Break. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Finally, there's Guard Break. I won't lie, I do think we're gonna see it. I know it's kind of a broken ability, but also so is hidden enemies, and that's definitely on there because we know that Ichigo's, you know, from the screenshot that Ichigo had it. Yeah, I do think we're gonna see Guard Break. It is kind of a broken ability. It's kind of a newer ability, but so it came out, I think, roughly around the same time as Hidden Enemy. And yeah, I think we're gonna see it on there. Especially since if you really think about it, you can only have 2. If you choose Guard Break, you're giving up one of the spots, and I think it's a good use of those spots, especially when you have so many other good abilities that you could potentially use. I think Guard Break would be a good one that a lot of people would. It'll probably be one that the majority of people would use, but I could definitely see picking a combination of 2 other abilities that don't involve Guard Break. For example, you know, like Flurry and Poise on a character with a high attack. You know, you might want to use them for PvP. There's no point to use Guard Break in PvP, so you might want to do that. There's also characters who, you know, don't really need it because they hit so many times. I don't know. I do think it's going to be on there, and I really hope it is. Personally, wow, this is kind of split evenly. I didn't even notice this. Huh. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of split evenly across all the abilities. I think it's a good amount, even if we don't see some of these. I think it's more likely that we get stuff that we don't get some of the stuff in the likely stuff, that we get stuff in the unlikely. That's confusing. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. Personally, I know we're gonna get hidden enemies. That's a huge plus. Weakened defense is also a huge plus. There's a chance also that they're gonna do it in such a way that you can't get like certain. Like, the first ability you get is some of these, and the second ability is in others. For example, on the first, let's say if, let's say the first ability you can get only consists of everything. There we go. Okay. Let's say the first ability you get only consists of everything that's on this list right here, and the second can only consist of anything that's over here. That would essentially make it toward, as an example, you can choose Guard Break or you can choose Frenzy, but you can't choose them both, because you'd have to choose Guard Break and something from this list. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this, but I'm very, very excited for it. And I hope you guys are too. I know a lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of comments on several videos and stuff about this. And I know a lot of people are also scared of it, scared that it'll break the game. But personally, I don't mind. Just give me more. It's not like the other stuff is leaving, so, you know, even if I don't like this, I can choose not to do it. But anyway, that's it for me. That's it for this video, you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It took me a while to set up, and I'm not kidding when I'm saying I started this recording like 20-something times before it worked out. So, yeah, here we are. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. Take care. Have a great night.